Welcome to Rise and Shine Daily Business Tech Boost with me, Charly Latham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and break them down into bite-sized tips you can use right away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine, it's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Latham. Episode number 422 today. I am actually going to show you how to install and set up zero spam for WordPress on your WordPress website today. I want to do that because I've had a couple of questions from people saying, well, how do you do it? I actually had one of my clients reach out and say, I'm a little lost. Can you give me a hand? Happy to help out. I hope this video is useful to you. And today I'm just going to show you how to install zero spam for WordPress. And then I'm going to do a couple of other videos about gravity forms and a WordPress contact form and a couple of other things so that you can see how to roll this out across multiple things on your WordPress website. So let's get started. Here I am. This is a test website. There's not much done on this website. I am using it pretty much just to do these videos. I have logged in to the dashboard here. If you're not sure how to log into your WordPress dashboard, reach out. I'll give you a hand. I will probably end up doing a series of videos just on those basics as well. But we are logged into what we call WP Admin or your admin dashboard. Use both interchangeably. From here, you need to go down to your plugins menu. And what we're going to do is we're going to install the plugin. We're going to look at the settings on it, and I'm going to run through a couple of things. You have your plugins window here. You'll see I've got a number of plugins already installed. The ones that are most important to me at this point are Gravity Forms, and that's it. Today, we're not going to even touch Gravity Forms. We're just going to go through zero spam for WordPress. Once you're on this screen, you need to head up here to the Add New Plugin. If you don't want to do it here, you'll notice here in the sidebar, you've also got Add New Plugin. You can do it from either place. I tend to just go to Plugins to make sure I haven't already installed it, or I haven't got something else that might do the same thing already installed. So once you're in the Add Plugin screen, over on the right-hand side, you have a search bar, and all you need to type in there is zero spam for WordPress. Type that in, hit enter. It's going to go and do its search. Okay, now you'll see we've got a couple of things come up here. We've got Gravity Forms, zero spam. I will come back to that one later. We've got zero spam for WordPress. This is the one that we need. Click install now. Let it install. Once it's installed, click activate. You only click it once. Don't click it multiple times like I just did. Sorry. Doesn't matter if you do, it'll only activate once. Okay, so once you've activated it, you'll see you get a little bar at the top here. First of all, you get the bar with the green bar on it saying plugin activated. That's fantastic. You can dismiss that. Then at the top, you get a notification saying, thanks for installing zero spam for WordPress. Visit the settings page to configure your site's protection, or click here to automatically configure recommended settings. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to go to the settings page. I am going to show you how you find zero spam without this menu, this notification being here, and that's under the settings menu. If you go down to the settings menu and come down to zero spam, you can click on that, and that's where you get into it. Just remember that is there, because once we do this, this notification is going to, I think it will disappear. Had to think on that. So there's a couple of things we can do, and if you just want to get up and running, and not have to worry about anything else I'm about to show you. The best thing you can do is the automatically configure recommended settings. See here, right at the top of this page, if you click this, it's going to take you here. Do you see here where it says use recommended settings? Get maximum protection fast with our one-click configuration setup. Please enter any supported plugins that are installed and activated first. We'll go and do that in a minute. Performing this action will override all existing settings. So if you already configured this, you don't want to use the recommended settings. Let's go and have a look at the supported plugins. So that takes us out to a new page for zero spam. And it says what plugins are supported by zero spam. We've got the Give WP Forms, Contact Form 7, Gravity Forms, Contact Form 7, WP Forms, Formidable Form Builder, Fluent Forms, MemberPress, WooCommerce registrations, MailChimp for WordPress. So these are the extra plugins that it will support. It also protects comments, user registrations, and login forms. This is a really great plugin for this exact reason. So these are the plugins that are supported. So we're just going to go back to my screen here. Once we're in here, we just hit the override and update settings button. Now that's just going to go and configure everything in all of these items down here. There we go. It says zero spam for WordPress has successfully been auto-configured with the recommended settings. That's all you need to do. You can move on and go and do whatever you want. And it's going to protect your comment forms. It's going to protect your registration forms. If you've got other things configured, installed, it will start to protect those. What I do want to do though, before we go further, is just have a look at a couple of the settings here. On the settings page, let's go through that. So usage data sharing, you might want to turn this off. This says help us provide better protection and contribute to our real-time global detection network by opting into sharing non-sensitive data. They'll never share or sell personal identifiable information. That's set to on. If you don't want to share data with the plugin provider, you just click that to off and it will turn it off. I'm going to leave it on. Next drop down here, we've got dashboard visibility, widget visibility. Who can see this widget when they log in? Now, what I'm going to do is we're just going to go up to the dashboard. I'm going to open it in a new tab. And I'm going to scroll down. And you'll see we have a widget here that's zero spam for WordPress. It's giving us, sorry, I just had to read that and make sure I was going to give you the right information. This will disappear eventually. This is telling us that if you want to upgrade to the Pro version, you can go and get a license. It's going to charge you money. You don't need the Pro version for the very basic settings. This is going to give you an 80%. If I use the Pareto principle, 80% of the benefit for 20% of the effort, this is what will give you that 80-20. So you don't need to do this. Now you'll see though that we do have this widget here and it says here nothing to report. When we start getting spam reports, it will tell us what we're protected from. This widget, if I go back here, is the widget that is mentioned on. Damn, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, there we go. That works. Okay, I'll just click elsewhere. Just trying to clear the screen. This widget here is that widget that we were looking at, and it's telling us that it's only accessible to administrators. If you wanted to give it access to your editor, or if you had custom roles set up, they would appear here and you could choose those roles within this thing. I leave it with the administrator. I don't think anyone else needs to see that data. That is something that you do need to consider. It depends on how your site is set up and what level of access you give to people. Over here in IP block handler determines how blocked IPs are handled when they attempt to access the site. So this will block, well, this is one of the best things, is it will put an automatic block on an IP address that repeatedly tries to spam the site. There is a threshold. It makes it, once it hits that threshold, it says, no, you can't access the site anymore. You've got two options. You can set it to a 403 forbidden error. It just says, no, you're not allowed to access this site at the moment. Or you can say redirect the user. So if I just turn that on, which will turn that off, it will redirect the user. I am not sure where it will redirect the user. Oh, here we are, down here. I found it. Okay, so when you say redirect the user, there is a section down here that says blocked users redirect. Where do you want to send them? Honestly, if you wanted to be funny, you could redirect them to a Rickroll site. If you wanted to, I'm not saying you should. It would be hilarious though. However, I normally just set that to 403, and you'll see that that was the default setting. The IP blocked method. So how .htaccess is the preferred performance. However, choosing the wrong Apache version or adding more than 8,190 characters could cause the website to crash and require a manual fix to the htaccess file. If this happens and you're unsure how to fix it, contact me. You don't need to contact High5, they'll give you a rapid response, but you can also contact me and I can give you a hand. What I would recommend if you are unsure of these settings, yes, you should use .htaccess. Use PHP. Sorry, you should use .htaccess. Let me finish that statement for better performance. It's not going to be that much of a hit. Choose PHP. It will run for you. You don't need to worry about these things. I honestly would only do these things if you've got a tech that you can contact, who can have a look at your server and say, yep, we need to configure it for this one or this one. For the blocked messages, this one says the message displayed to blocked users when a display of 403 forbidden error is selected. This one up here, this one that we've just selected. You can actually set a message. This one says your IP address has been blocked due to detected spam malicious activity. You can make it to be as humorous as you like, to be as formal as you like. I leave these all as standard. As I said, I use the standard settings in 80% of the situations. I actually like to leave logged. We're not going to do this one because we've already addressed that one. Blocked users redirect. Log blocked IPs. This one I really like. This is going to set up a log and it's going to log all the IPs that are blocked from accessing the site. It's really not recommended if you have high traffic sites because you will get a lot of blocked users, a lot of blocked IP addresses. There are a lot of bots out there that do just try to spam sites. And the reason it says not to do it is the log files can get really big, and logging does take a percentage of your resources. It may only be a small percentage, but if it's continually logging, it is going to slow down the site. It's also going to create really big log files, which is going to use up the disk space that you have. So I leave it on unless I know I've got a a high traffic website. In order to remember what I said about the log size getting big, we can actually truncate the log entries. We can only log a certain number of entries before it will start to override the entries and start deleting them. And we set that to 10,000. That's a lot of log entries. But I would recommend, if you're not going to use the defaults, don't set that too big. You do not want that too large. Also remember, you've got to go through 10,000 entries to have a look at them. IP whitelist. Now, if you have a user that is getting blacklisted for whatever reason or getting blocked for whatever reason, you can get their IP address. You can put it in here. It will make sure that they are never blocked by this plugin. Remember though that with most IP addresses, they are dynamic. So someone will have one IP address one day and they'll have another IP address another day. It's not a great solution. It's really better to work out why that user keeps getting blocked and try to fix that out, rectify that. You can set a list of email domains that should be blocked, one per line. Again, you need to be careful with this. I would not be putting Gmail and Hotmail and Outlook and all of those things in there because legitimate people use those email addresses to add comments to your site, to register, and you're just going to block out a high percentage of people who might want to come and visit your site or leave comments because of a bad view. But there might be some email domains that you know of that are causing you grief. Used block email domains recommendation. So this will override all existing blocked email domains with the zero spams recommended domain. So if you've put this in here and you just want to clear it, you can just hit that one and it will clear it and update it. Let me just, if I just click on that, let's see what it does. Okay, we've gone all the way to the top. Aha. Okay, so it's taken off our last one. It's actually given us a heap of email addresses. So this is possibly worthwhile doing. Oh, it's still updating it. Wow, that was a big long list. So these are addresses that they get rid of my roboform. There we go. These are email domains that they found that have been reportedly repeated for spam. It's probably a good one to click on and make sure you do. If you don't want it, just click in the box, Control A to highlight all of them and click delete, and that will get rid of them. I'm going to come back to the honeypot in just a moment. Override and update core disallowed words. So update WP cores disallowed words option with this. You can go and have a look at what that is. Let's go have a look. WordPress comment blacklist. Okay, so this is a GitHub. We've just got to scroll down. I'm just going to see if it gives us the lists. Spammers will utilize links that include URLs. So it will block all of these sorts of links. Anyone trying to use these links in spam comments will get blocked. Non-English comments, if you've got an English-speaking site, you probably want this. Sites specifically, other languages, specifically those containing Chinese, Japanese, Hiragana, and katakana. Oh my goodness. Korean, Thai, or Cyrillic characters. You may want to remove or modify these sections of the block list. It just depends. Look, there's a whole heap of things in here. I'm not going to go through all of it. So it has a whole heap of extra words that it will block. You can say that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave whatever WordPress has set up. The last one we want to have a look at is our honeypot ID. And this is, if spam is getting through, it will give you a current honeypot ID to use. So it puts that into the forms. If you remember, I was speaking about honeypots in another podcast. It is a field that is added into your forms on your site that only is readable if you look at the source code. It doesn't show to people who are looking at the screen. If we find that that field is getting filled in, we know that that is probably a bot reading the forms electronically and filling in the forms electronically. Once you've made all these changes, if you do make any changes, click Save Settings and you're done. Okay, you don't have to go any further on that on this video. I am going to go a little bit further and do a couple of things. I am not going to go through all of these options. I do recommend you go through these options. If you've got questions, come back and ask me. The one that I did want to highlight, the two things I want to highlight, first of all is Project Honeypot. We're going to click down here. We already spoke about Honeypot down the bottom there. Project Honeypot is let's go and have a look. First of all, this is going to block visitors' IPs that have been reported to Project Honeypot. Let's go and have a look at Project Honeypot. Great site. Clearly made by techies for techies. And it's an old site as well. You can tell it's an old site. It doesn't give you a whole heap of information. Okay, we'll go to the About page. There we go. Project Honeypot is the first and only distributed system for identifying spammers and spam bots they use to scrape addresses from your website. You can use the Honeypot system to actually go out and say, have these sites been, is this a known, sorry, you get a list back from Honeypot. Is this on the list? Yes, it is. Okay, we're not going to let it through. We know that this is a blocked or a reported IP address, a reported bot. We know about it. All right, cool. What you want to do, I'm going to make this really simple because you can go through all of this and go, I don't understand it. Seriously, it's really, really technical. They write in, it's made by text. What can I say? What you want to do is you want to sign up for free. I recommend going through this process. I know it's a little difficult. I know it's an added step, but I do recommend going through this process and signing up and getting a Project Honeypot account just for this purpose. It does help with your spam protection. Fill in the form, do all this. It's going to send you, it's going to let you apply. I can't remember. Oh, pardon me. I can't remember if it actually asks you to verify your address or not. Go through, hit the apply button. It's gonna give you a login. I am actually just going to go and log into my account. Okay, so this is what your Honeypot dashboard will look like. You're not, honestly, you are not going to use this a heap. You're really not going to use this a lot once you've got your account. You might, if you are an interested person, come in and have a look and see all the stuff that's there. And this is going to be blurred out a lot, and I am sorry, but there is some private information on here that I don't necessarily need people to see. What you have here is, first of all, I've got a number of things set up. So I've got some honeypots set up. I've set up things that will help these guys catch harvesters, and you can see that I've got a list of harvesters already being caught. There's probably more in that list. We haven't caught any spammers, which is fine. That's cool. But I've got a whole heap of harvesters that we've caught, which is great. Uh, the other things that you have on here is most recent suspicious IP. So we can, if I'm having trouble and it's not getting caught, I can come and just check the IP addresses that are getting caught. It tells me what the suspicious IPs in my country are. It tells me who the top users are. It tells me who the latest users are to join. It tells me latest IPs commented on. So we get a whole heap of data here. Honestly, it's a lot of this is just, oh, that's nice. Isn't that nice to know? What you are looking for is here in this block where it says enter an IP to look up. You've got a whole heap of information here. This is going to be blurred out. I am sorry, but it is going to be blurred out. But except for this one bit here that says your HTTP BL API key. Now, my API key is going to be blurred out, of course. And what you want to do is you want to grab that API key. You can just highlight it, hold your left mouse button down, drag over it so that you highlight it, copy it. Once you've got that API key, go back to your zero spam settings. And here in the access key, make sure you paste it in. This will be blurred out because I really don't want you seeing my API key. I am sorry. But there you go. You can put your API key in there. That now is going to use all of these wonderful resources over here at Project Honeypot and give your site an extra boost in its protection. Cache expiration, setting this number to a high, too high could result in outdated information. Too low could cause a decrease in performance. We recommend 14 days. Look, I'm going to go with the 14 days. What that says is if they visited, it's going to get a cookie set. If you set it too high, that IP address could actually end up being picked up by someone else to spam with, and it might be marked as oh no, that cookie's right. Just make sure that you set it to something. I don't change these things, okay? I leave them at 14 days. If I start to have issues with things and things aren't quite right, these are the settings that I will normally go in and tweak, but I tweak one at a time. I don't go and make multiple changes all at once because I need to know what worked and what didn't. Threat minimum score, feel free to visit and read what a threat minimum score is. A logarithmic score, a threat rating is a logarithmic score, much like a Richter scale for measuring earthquakes. A threat rating of 25 could be interpreted as equivalent to sending 100 messages to a honeypot trap. Okay, so in this case, we've got the threat rating here. 25 is 100 spam messages, 50 is 10,000 spam messages, 75 is a million spam messages. If you want to be more sensitive, you'd drop your threat rating to 25. If you want to be less sensitive, you'd drop it to 75, increase it to 75. It sets it in the middle. It's fine. Make sure you click Save Settings to save your API key. That's done. The last thing that I want to show you, and it's going to lead into the next videos I do, is the David Walsh setting. I mentioned this in my podcast the other day when I was talking about using zero spam for protecting it and protecting your site from spam. Make sure you've got David Walsh technique enabled. It does require JavaScript to be enabled on your visitors' browsers. It is really hard to browse the internet these days without JavaScript being enabled and getting any usable information off of a site. So this one is probably it is a reasonable thing to do. When you're setting up, you can have a custom form selector. You set a comma separated list of custom form selectors that use this technique. So in this case, we've got .contact form. So a class, a form selector is the dot. It might be a dot for a class or a hatch, a pound sign. Let me show you. Contact form. Okay. I'm going to put a space in so it's readable. You'll see I've got a comma in there already. So it's either a dot for a class or a hatch for a contact form. I'm not going to go into this one any further than this today. You may hear someone say, oh, I've put a class on your form so that we can protect it from spam. This is where we sort of use these things. Okay. There is a heap more in here. I'm not going to go through any more except to say you can look at how your comments are protected. You can say protect comments, you can log comments, you can have messages for flagged commenters. Registration forms, you can tell it to register your. I'm waiting for it to come. I know I said I wasn't going to do any more, but I'm just going to quickly run through them. You can protect your registration forms. You can block registrations. Again, you've got messages. So you've got a lot of granularity here. User login. This is a bit like login protection. I can't think of the name of it now. There are a lot of plugins out there that do it. If you're going to put on zero spam, you can probably turn off login protection, other login protection plugins, because they're just all going to start conflicting with each other. They're going to slow your performance of your site down. And if you've got one plugin that does these things, you should be using those things. Again, user login, protect login attempts. If you don't want to use the login protection on zero spam, that's fine. If you want to use your own plugin, that's fine. Make sure you turn it off here though. That's really important. Don't have multiple plugins doing the same function. Conflicts will likely occur. I can't say they will 100%, but they'll likely occur. And B, you're just going to slow the performance of your site down. And you can log the blocked login attempts so that you can see who's trying to log in and what's going on. And you can set the messages again. Okay, that's it for today. There's a lot more in here, but I don't want to go into these are the basic things that you can configure, you can deconfigure. If you don't even want to go that far, just remember you can use this override and update settings, and it will do everything you need. It will set this up to give you an 80% of everything for 20% of the effort, the Pareto principle, and you're ready to go. Okay, let me come back and have a chat to you guys. Okay, so you know why I didn't want to go into doing the forms today. There's a lot there with the zero spam for WordPress plugin. I really hope this is one that sticks around. It's been around for a long time. I've been using it for a long time. It really does work. I have had massive improvements on removing spam and reducing spam comments, reducing spam logins, reducing spam site registrations, reducing spam on my comment forms. And the best thing about it is I don't have to go and have an account with a Kismet or something to protect my site. This is all free. You can do all of this with that basic plugin. If you want to upgrade, you can, but you don't need to. In the coming videos, I'm actually going to show you how you integrate that then with your comment forms, the way you can set up comment forms. I'll start with Gravity Forms because that's my favorite. I'll probably do some WordPress block comment forms, and I'll probably, yes, you can twist my arm, I will probably go and install Elementor and show you how to do it on Elementor too. Not my favorite page builder. Has this been helpful? Has it raised more questions for you? If you can, let me know in the comments below wherever you are watching or listening to this video. If you can give me a like on the video if it has been helpful, that would be fantastic. I'd really appreciate that. If you do have questions and you don't want to comment on these videos, I do have my own community, askcharlylatham.locals.com. You can join the conversation there. You get access to me. If there's things that you've found that you want to discuss, or you want to say, hey, listen, this looks like a great thing, guys, try it out. I'm good for that. I want this to be a community for business owners who are trying to manage their tech on a shoestring budget and get to increase their own technical or their own tech knowledge a little so that they can look after themselves. Come across and join me there. You can also send me a DM on any of our social media channels and I'll get back to you eventually. As I said, if this has been helpful, please remember to like the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop the next piece of content. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlylatham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.